OpenAI has announced some new developer APIs and products that have been added to their product line. Some of the things that you could access through their ChatGPT interface are now available to developers using their standard API interfaces. Taking a look here, we see that we've got some options such as a new GPT-4 Turbo mode with 128,000 token context with lower prices. That sounds nice. I like that. So now you can add more data into the prompts so that much larger documents or a bunch of documents, and then be able to run tasks on top of those. They also have something called the new Assistance API. I got to check that out. What's that about? They're opening up GPT-4 Turbo with the Vision, which allows you to have an image along with text to do some tasks. And the DALL-E 3 API. OpenAI has announced a series of new additions and enhancements to their APIs. Let's check this out really quick over here. The most exciting items that they list here are the GPT-4 Turbo model, less expensive, and it supports a larger context window. And I was very curious about this Assistance API. What does that mean? The Assistance API makes it easier for developers to build their own assistive AI apps that have goals and can also call models and tools. I wonder if this is related to their functions implementation, where you can supply a series of functions with inputs and outputs types of deal that allows you to have the AI be able to request invoking these functions, so that way your code can invoke inputs based on what the AI thinks it makes sense to call the function with. That might be the Assistance API, and they just made it a little bit easier. They've opened up the multimodal capabilities on the platform, which allows you to add images with your prompts, which is really cool. And now you can do this through an API, so it allows you to build interesting new applications. They also have text-to-speech, which, meh. It's fine. There's a lot of interesting text-to-speech startups out there that have really great items already being covered from an API perspective on that, but it's also nice that OpenAI is trying to also add this in as well. OpenAI has released several new API enhancements and capabilities, as well as something they call their Assistance API, which involves Retrieval Code Interpreter. This API looks like it helps us build better agent-like experiences. Okay, so the API kind of guides you along when you're building your own agent. Then this API is going to be providing a lot more interesting assistance for you. You could already probably do this today, but you'd have to do a little bit extra effort and some creativity. But it looks like their Assistance API is going to take care of a lot of those hard and interesting challenges that come along with it. Let's check this out really quick. Okay, the first thing that's coming in of the vision here that I'm seeing is that it provides the ability to create a stateful conversation that will be stored on OpenAI servers as you pipe in information such as additional requests from an end user. That data will be held as state on their servers, as well as the AI responses will be held in the state on the server, which is a lot easier to develop, which means you don't really need to hold that state. Just something that you could have embedded into an application or client, like your phone or a web browser, that you could store in user state, like in the SQL database or session state. But instead, this allows you to put this on their server, and you can create an experience. So you can see that we add a message to the thread, and in this case, it'll allow you to do that, and that data is definitely be held on the OpenAI servers. And then there's a list command that shows all the messages assigned to the existing thread in context. Okay, so with what I'm reading, it seems like, this is something that is a nice to have. It takes care of some of the things that you would have definitely to do yourself. Otherwise, it's not really that big of a leap. You could easily implement something like this yourself, but it is kind of nice. They take care of some of that heavy burden for you, and you'll be able to go on your way. With OpenAI's release of a few new APIs and enhancing their existing ones, they also bring in GPT-4 Turbo with Vision. So now we can upload images as well as the text alongside that, which is kind of nice because it takes care of a few additional things. For example, if you wanted to build something like this without the Vision, you could take that image and put that over to a model that would be able to discern all the details in the image, convert that into text, bring that over into your prompt, and then add that into your prompt and then submit it to OpenAI GPT-4. Instead of having to do that, you could do that all automatically in one API call, it seems. Just taking a quick peek here at their Vision API, you can either point to a URL directly, or you can upload the images in base64 encoding format. This is pretty satisfying. Look at this, all in one API call. We can submit a question about the image or other details that we're looking to discern from the image. And then right here is the data of the image, base64 encoded. This is satisfying. All one single API call. that feels like it opens up some new opportunities. I know we could already do this before using multiple models. This is just very satisfying. It's satisfying to get this in one API call. Even more interesting is that they allow multiple image inputs, which is pretty fantastic as well. All the checks are image 1, image 2. Then you can ask if there's differences between the image. This is I can see a lot of new opportunities along the lines of with this capability. I'm looking at the image files here. The two image files are the same, so I bet the AI, if you're asking it if there's any differences, it should say there are no differences. Let's see if we got the output correct. All right, let's see what it comes back with. It should say no differences. I'm expecting it to say no. What does it say here? Oh, it did. The images you provided appear to be identical, and then it goes on describing it's a scattered clouds and some photography of nature environments. That's pretty cool. OpenAI has released a series of new APIs that allow a lot of new enhancements in using their latest generation of everything, including DALL-E 3 here, and I was really excited to check this out, especially from an API perspective, because I feel like I have a lot more control and power. I can just sort of hammer at it all the different requests that I'm interested in. I'm really curious to check this out. Let's look at that really quick. Oh, 4 pennies per image generated. All right, well, that could get expensive if I really throw a lot of requests at it, but 4 pennies, that seems pretty, that's a good price. I think that's a fair price, meanwhile. All right, with DALL-E 3, we can have sizes of images, 1024 all the way up to 1792 by 10. Interesting combination. Some interesting resolutions here. All right, okay. Oh, and then there's something interesting. Image generated standard quality, but you could also set quality to HD for enhanced details. Here's an example of the API call. Kind of curious to give this a try. Let's do this really quick. All right, let's generate a white Siamese cat. Let's see what that looks like. All the default standard API call. We didn't add or remove anything. This is just the example they provided us. All right, we're opening. Oh, it's a kitty. Oh, this is very, very animated looking. There does feel to be a set of quality that's associated with this picture. I was expecting like a realistic cat. Maybe if we change that up really quick. Like, you know what's interesting? Even says a realistic portrayal of Siamese cat, and it came back with an animated looking, sort of illustrated looking cat. And I'm looking for something that feels lifelike. I'm wondering if we can do this by updating the prompt here. All right, let's see what we got. It's another illustrate. You know, it's interesting because I was playing with this a little earlier and I was getting more realistic looking features. And don't get me wrong, this looks great. It's a fantastic output. I want to see something that I can't tell is generated. I want it to look real and lifelike. I'm gonna try one more time. Oh, maybe we can use that enhanced HD thing. Let's try that out. Quality HD. Let's give that a try. I was feeling inspired to also change the prompt a little bit, but I'm just going to see what the Quality HD does just as is. Let's see if that makes any difference. All right, we can. All right, it made the cat beefy. It is now a beefcake cat. That cat it has the muscle of all the cats in the world. So HD in this case means it's swole. It's muscle cat. I wasn't expecting. All right, I'm gonna try to say photograph. Let's see if we can make it provide a real. I want to see something realistic. All right, let's try to keep it simple. Let's see what this does. A photograph of a white Siamese. So let's see if this does a trick. Okay, we've got. It looks a little more realistic, actually. I mean, it still looks illustrated and rendered. It did get a step closer. That is interesting. I do like this. This is a little closer to what I was looking for. Kind of zooming in here on the details. You can tell that it is a rendered or sort of brushed. You could see it looks brushed like. It looks more of an illustrated, but at the same time, it does look realistic at the ears and the eyes and the face. All right, I tried one more just to see what it would look like, and this one did come back. It does look a lot more lifelike, a lot more realistic, and it is interesting. There are these revised prompts that do come back, and this took my original prompt of a photograph, and it turned it into, imagine a detailed photograph that captures the allure of a white Siamese cat. I mean, that is helpful in a way because it is creating a better picture overall of what's going on. Though I kind of want to have more control over it. Maybe if I provided such a detailed description as described here, I would have a similar experience with still maintaining the control. Though I do like the simplicity of being able to provide just the little bits of details that I'm going for, and it did come back with some I'm pretty satisfied with this. Yeah, I think I'll like this. I might, going forward, we'll just continue to use this API like it is, starting from the first image generated to the second one, the third one. When we added HD, it got really beefy for some reason. And then the third one, a little more realistic, and the fourth one, the last one here, the most realistic. It does look nice. It's a satisfying. I'm captivated. I like this one.